Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Tasmanians have helped mark the end of an era, with the AURORA Australis sailing out of Hobart for the last time. Hundreds gathered on the wharf to watch her depart for Dubai, with emotions running high.
With the raising of rope and the blaring of a horn, the AURORA Australis left Princess Wharf one final time this morning after 30 years of service to Australia's Antarctic mission.
Quite nostalgic, yeah, quite nostalgic, but we've been waiting for this day for nearly 9 months now.
GERRY spent 21 years on board, including the past 4 as captain, today sending the AURORA on a journey.
A real privilege to be able to take it out of the dock and get it underway.
On land, sea and air, hundreds gathered across the Derwent for a final look at the Orange Roughie, giving her a rousing send-off.
Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
And it was a great response. Everybody supported it so well, so I felt that went off very well.
Former staff the most emotional, waving farewell to their second home. The tight-knit group today reminiscing on the memorable moments.
You can see the ice below as it's breaking and hear the sounds of the ice breaking and see all the animals and the wildlife.
It is quite emotional. You know, it is an end of an era and the start of a new one.
And the not so memorable.
I'm always violently ill, so I'm always in my cabin, but even so, it's like a rite of passage.
The AURORA Australis is heading to Dubai, where she'll be repaired and then moved on to her next home. She may be leaving Hobart for the last time, but locals say her legacy will live on.
It's been the pipeline of a life source to those Australian Antarctic bases.
Her replacement already having giant shoes to fill. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania Police has been forced to save 3 distressed men from their sinking vessel on the east coast. The trio activated an EPIRB late yesterday after their 7.5-metre catamaran flipped on the Freycinet Peninsula. One man was treated by paramedics for mild hypothermia. Authorities say they're thankful the vessel was equipped with all the required safety equipment. Back home, and the government has fired back at claims live theatre performances have been ignored in the latest easing of restrictions. Labor says the sector has not been given a clear pathway out of the COVID pandemic. However, the government is adamant it's working closely with venue operators to increase seating numbers. It comes days after the Mamma Mia production was postponed for a second time due to capacity limits. A new market has officially made its debut in Hobart. It's run by the organisers of the Hobart Twilight Market and features plenty of local produce and live music.
The idea has been there from many suggestions that people have made to move to the Eastern Shore, and we just thought a morning market on a Saturday in this space would be a fantastic opportunity for people.
The Tasmanian Produce Market will be held weekly at the Kangaroo Bay Park from February next year. It's been a tough year for everyone, including Santa. But today he took a break from packing toys to hang 10. Hundreds of people flocked to Clifton Beach to help him let off some steam at the 3rd annual Santa Surf.
Sun, surf and Santa costumes. Christmas is in the air at Clifton Beach.
It's been a crazy year with COVID and yeah, it's a great way for all of us to come together and yeah, celebrate Chrissy together, so that's what we're doing.
Surfers donning their festive outfits and taking to the waves. The biggest challenge, keeping the sand hats dry.
It gets a little bit messy. At the end of the day, we do have to do a beach clean up and pick up all the Santa hats.
Sandcastle competitions bringing out people's creative sides.
Well, we're trying to make a snowman surfing on a surfboard.
We're trying to build like a mermaid kind of shape out of all the sand and some rocks and seaweed.
How long do you think you're going to be stuck here now?
Maybe a couple more minutes, hopefully.
Including an Aussie Santa, drawing inspiration from a little closer to home.
We gave him a bit of a beer belly. And we couldn't find a beer can to put in his hand, but that'll come soon.
Where did the idea come from?
Well, it's kind of inspired by my dad, because he looks a bit like him.
Plenty of activities for the kids. Prizes up for grabs for best costume and surf tricks.
Doing surf classes at my school for like the last 10 weeks, I think.
Yeah. The waves have been pretty hectic. Been getting thrashed a few times.
Bringing the community together for some much needed fun in the sun. Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Hobart Revheads gathered in the CBD this morning for a classic car display. The former K&D warehouse played host to dozens of historic vehicles, with a local 1950s tribute band providing the entertainment. It's the third of 4 Hobart City Council block parties aimed at spreading Christmas cheer throughout December.
Would have run the Christmas carols throughout the city and the Christmas pageant, and so this is a way of the Hobart City Council really encouraging people to get together, support each other and have fun coming into summer.
The final party will be held tomorrow at Macquarie Point. And there's been a nod to aviation's past and a vision of the future as dozens of planes today landed at a private Tasmanian airstrip. Extensive upgrades at the remote Sheffield property set to aid in the serial assault of fast-moving bushfires.
This plane has flown everywhere, from Timbuktu to Trinidad.
It used to be owned by Dick Smith, so it's been around the world twice.
Now its new home, Tasmania, lured here by new company Track Air.
And it's here to provide a service for passengers, freight, and also the aircraft's NAFSI approved National Aviation Firefighting Centre.
One of 30 planes from across the state touching down in Sheffield for Devonport Aero Club's Christmas party, as well as this incredibly rare electric-powered motor glider. The first of its kind ever to make it into Australia.
You just plug this in and it's just like a torch, you know, plug it in, turn on the light, off it goes. So very low maintenance, very easy to look after.
The aviation gathering held not at a public airstrip but a private one. This brand new state-of-the-art hangar, also just a hobby in the eyes of property owner Simon Hackett.
We've got enough parking to put about 40 planes off the side of the runway if we need to.
The upgraded space has also caught the eye of the Tasmanian Fire Service. Water tanks with a capacity of 500,000 litres make it ideal for aerial fire bombers.
If it's needed again, this will be an even better facility to use for firefighting.
The main event, a flying visit from 3 warbirds, once used by soldiers in training exercises.
They've got a very a beautiful sound.
A final salute to an infamous year in our skies. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
A Hobart Dance Studio has farewelled 2020 in style. The House of Dance hosting its end-of-year concert this morning at the Hobart College Theatre. From jazz through to tap, more than 80 dancers showcased their moves in front of family and friends. Coronavirus regulations forcing the studio to split performances across the day.
Limited audience capacity, limited backstage, so we've spread it out over the day and we're just overwhelmed with joy to be here.
The final show will wrap up later tonight. In developing news, Tasmanian driver Alex Perroni has reportedly quit Formula 3 to race in America. The 21-year-old has signed for the Indy Lights competition, citing budget constraints. A fundraising page has been set up on the Australian Sports Foundation website, aiming to raise $100,000 for the venture. Perroni finished 10th in this season F3 Championship, finishing on the podium 3 times.
Good evening. 29 the high today on the west coast at Scotts Peak, Launceston 23, Hobart 21, 19 in Devonport and 18 for Burnie. Ouse reached 28 today, 24 at Grove, Strahan 23, Flinders Island and Friendly Beaches 21, Lyowini 20 degrees after a low of -1 this morning, 19 at Smithton, St Helens and Maria Island and Lowhead 18. Mostly clear skies over Tasmania today, apart from some low-level cloud over the far northeast. There is a large amount of middle and high-level cloud associated with a low-pressure system over inland WA, but mostly low-level cloud around the rest of the country. Tomorrow a high remains in the Tasman Sea, with the ridge in the east of the country persisting. The low over WA has decayed into a trough that will move over Central Australia. Winds 5 to 15 knots in the southwest and central west tomorrow, north to northeasterly winds elsewhere reaching 30 knots in the northwest, lower east and the southeast. Seas 1.5 to 2.5 metres. A strong wind warning is current for northwestern coastal waters from Sandy Cape to Stanley and for lower eastern waters. Hobart partly cloudy tomorrow, 27, 28 degrees in Richmond and Ouse also partly cloudy, 25 in Launceston partly cloudy, cloudy and 20 in Devonport, Deloraine 21. Burnie cloudy 20, 27 at Strawn and Curry 22. A light shower or two and 21 for St Helens, Swansea 23 and Whitemark 21 and cloudy. The UV is 12, which is extreme tomorrow, so make sure to protect yourself out in the sun. Looking ahead to Monday, fine apart from possible light showers about the high ground areas in the north, hot in the south. Tuesday, isolated showers about the west and south and scattered showers mainly about the east and north on Wednesday. 24 in Sydney and Brisbane tomorrow, Darwin 32 with a shower or two and a possible storm, Canberra cloudy and 23 and a mostly sunny day in Melbourne, 30 degrees. And currently it's 21 and mostly sunny in Hobart, Launceston 21 and sunny and Devonport 16, partly cloudy there.
And that's all your news for now for this Saturday evening. Thanks for joining us. Have a lovely evening. Good night.